record. Given it's mostly just the screen in my face, but still it counts as something on there. All right, so now I'm recording. Hey, this is Monday, August 10th. Recording my 5th period. For those of you who are watching the home version because you missed out on things, that's fine. You're more than welcome to watch it. We'll walk you through everything to help you figure out stuff from there. So far, I had kids just show me how to do a high five or a thumbs up thing for the Remind app. If you're not signed up, make sure you get signed up if you can, so we can send you information. If you are part of my regular classes, your code is BROV, and I will be sending out messages today to help you. If you are part of one of my advanced classes, you have a different code, which is BROV2. And if you need it again, then you can either ask me, or if you're watching the video on YouTube, you can just rewind, go button, or whatever it is, and it'll rewind, you're good to go. But I will be using the Remind app quite a bit to help you guys out. Then your parents are also on it too, because I have a Remind app for them. So I get to send them information where it's not quite as boring. All right. So again, Canvas page information. So on my Canvas page, you have the weekly calendar. I've updated it with a new weekly calendar, the tour of my room. Again, the YouTube. So if you are absent, you go to my YouTube link on there, and it'll take you to my YouTube page. You just go for the most recent one. That is the easiest way to figure out what you missed in my class. If you're ever absent, I record class every day, and I put it on there. For those of you following me on social media, thank you to my ones of followers. I really appreciate it. For those of you who are following me, I'm going to be doing a follow-up to Meow Meow. I have Meow Meow Part 2 coming out. For those of you who are not following me and don't know what Meow Meow is, that's fine. You have helped avoid having nightmares. That's the best I can try and tell you right now. Then I said Pachoo. Aha. So now when you go to my Canvas page, you have a second calendar link on there. So you have this week. This week, things may change because I have no idea exactly what we're doing. I don't know how long each day is going to take, but we'll sort of figure it out as we go through. When you click on it, here is the homework. If you were unaware, Mariah's here. Yay, Mariah is not dead. Just a little on the late side. So you're supposed to turn in your Who Am I video. If you have not turned in your Who Am I video for me, then that will be counting as a grade against you. You can still turn it in. It'll say you're turning it in late at some point, but that's fine with me. So all you have to do is go on there. It's on the assignments on the left-hand side. Go to the assignments on the left-hand side, go clicky, clicky, and then you turn in that video. It is the exact same video that you turned in for BEST and for your other classes. Same video goes for me. I get a chance to watch it. I'm going through and watching and stuff like that. If you've not done that yet, then make sure you get a chance to do that soon. The homework for today, if you go to today's day and you go clicky, clicky on there, what you're going to end up having is, well, one, right now, if you're looking at the screen, if you have the list or the picture of kids at the bottom, move it so it's like up higher or over to the right or something like that, because you're going to want to see the bottom of the screen, because there's 2 links down there that you want to make sure you can see. This is going to be the homework that is due tomorrow. It says on there that is before class on Monday, but I have to push it back. It's due tomorrow. If you did Mrs. Randall's homework, it's pretty much the same thing. You are doing a PowerPoint slide. I just have different questions because I have different things I want to know, and I thought her questions were kind of boring. And so nothing against her. She's a lovely person. I just wanted more exciting questions. So if you did hers already, just open that up and then just change your answers. It should literally take you like, I don't know, 2.5, 3 minutes. Should not take you very long. So here's what it is. You go clicky, clicky. The one on the left-hand side is the directions, and then the right-hand side is the actual example. If you're on iPad and you've never downloaded a file to make changes to it, here's how you do it. If you're on Canvas or looking at it now, you go over to the link and you push your finger on it. You just hold your finger on it, and you go 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, and it opens up with a bunch of options. And one of the options will say download, or it'll say open in, and you can just open it in PowerPoint, or you can download it. That's how you open it, download it, stuff like that. So here is what I want you to do for it. Essentially, 2 things. For this slide thing, I want to find out more about you. So one thing is, I want to know more about you as a person. The other thing is, I want to know how well you follow directions. I think direction following is kind of an important way for me to make fun of children and mock you and stuff like that. So you're going to be telling me stuff about you here. Slightly different stuff than your other teachers have asked, but it's stuff I want to find out. But here's the thing. I don't know anything about you yet. You're all like brand new, shiny people to me. So if the information you were to give me were to be wrong, I would have no idea. Mr. BroviCast, are you telling us that we can lie? We're not going to use the word lie. We're going to say you can creatively interpret this educational assignment. In other words, I don't really care about the information you put down. I'm looking for you to give me information that I can use in class to bond and make fun of you about. So if you put down that your favorite thing in the world is My Little Pony and it's not My Little Pony, it's too late. You've already told me. Now I get to call you a brony and we get to bond because I have a whole bunch of My Little Pony stuff in my classroom also, and we get to high five about which one's the best. So you just have to pick what information it's going to be. As an example, one of the first questions for me is going to say, what is your first name, middle name, and last name? But the big part is going to be the middle name. Some of you hate your middle name. You're like, Mr. BroviCast, I don't want to give you my middle name. My parents hated me. My full name is Johnny Girly Bob Jones. And if your middle name is Girly Bob and you're like, but all the kids are going to make fun of me, guess what? Well, one, they're probably going to make fun of you anyway, because that's what junior high kids do for fun. But two, you can just change your middle name. Make it whatever you want it to be, and change your name to Johnny Flex on You Jones. You're like, my middle name is Flex on You. And I'm like, really? And you're like, yes. And I'm like, works for me. So you make your middle name whatever you want your middle name to be. If you're one of those people and you come from a culture where you have like 4 middle names, you can list all 4 middle names. That's fine with me. If you don't want to have 4 middle names, change it to 1 middle name. If you are someone who has no middle name, and those kids do exist, then just write down no middle name. Joey, no middle name Jones. That way I know that it's not just a matter of you forgetting to do it. You remembered to do it. You are just don't have a middle name. Or if you just hate your middle name and don't want to put anything, you can just put down, I have no middle name, and that's fine for me too. It's just a matter of seeing how well you follow directions. So if you want to change an answer or make it up, fine with me. I'm just looking for how well you can follow the directions. You're also welcome to change the font if you want to change the color of it. Like if you love the color purple like Jamira and I do, you're more than welcome to change all of your fonts to purple. Or if you want to just change so it has like a difference. If you're like, I love Comic Sans, it's a hilarious like me, then you can change all the font to Comic Sans. I have no problem with that whatsoever. I'm looking for a way to figure out what kind of personality you have. That's what I want. All right. So let me give you some examples. No, I'm lying to you. Let me show you what it looks like. This is what mine is. It looks almost exactly like Mrs. Randall's. It's just it has a few different questions on it. So if you have hers, you can sort of use that same thing. So the first thing is first name, middle name, last name. I want all 3 names, first, middle, last. Then on the left-hand side, you're going to be putting on there 3 to 5 pictures of things that tell me about you. So it could be like TV shows you like to watch, your favorite color, your favorite food. Like for some of you, it may be like Mike and Ike's, and then you put on there like Outer Banks because you're like, I love to just sit there and eat my Mike and Ike's. The yellow ones are the best while I watch Outer Banks, or whatever. Or for if it was 2 months ago, it'd be Tiger King, Carol Baskin, or whatever your particular thing may be. So you're just going to put pictures on there that connect to you in some way. You choose whatever pictures work best for you. This is just my way of finding out more about who you are. Then over on the right-hand side, these are the questions I want you to tell me, or the answers that you're going to give me. 1, adjectives. I want 5 adjectives that describe you. Adjectives are describey words like tall, short, smart, dumb, confused. If it was me, it would be like good looking, incredibly handsome, outgoing, stuff like that. Now, people can't judge you on what you want your adjective to be. So if you want to call yourself beautiful, you can call yourself beautiful, and that's absolutely fine with me. Although I should probably give you this information. You are going to be presenting this to the rest of the class. I'm going to be bringing your slide up, and I'm going to be highlighting your little picture video, and you're going to be walking us through what your information is. So make sure you don't make it too embarrassing, because it's not just for me, it's for all the other kids in the class also. So here's why you have to worry about that. One, if you call yourself beautiful, realize other kids may also call you beautiful. So be prepared for that. And also, if you put on there that you're a brony and Sparkle Puss is your favorite, then realize other kids may be coming after you like, I'm a brony, and they might be trying to like send you direct messages. So any information you put on there, other kids are going to see. So keep that in mind. So you pick whatever adjectives work best to describe you. 2 hobbies that you enjoy. Hobbies are things that you do for fun. For most of you, it's probably going to be sitting on TikTok and watching Netflix. But again, if you want to lie and come up with a different hobby, I'm fine with that. I'm not going to judge you. If you're embarrassed about your hobbies because your favorite thing to do is to go out to the barn and capture wild mice and bring them back to your room and make them dress up in little doll outfits and then have tea time with them while you call them Mrs. Snugglepuss, that's fine. But if you're embarrassed to say that, then you can instead say that you like to flex in front of the mirror. I'm fine with whatever thing you choose. You pick whatever your particular hobbies are going to be. Next up, an interesting fact about you. Something that is interesting that is about you. Again, I don't know you. You can make it as interesting or as truthful as you want it to be. If you want your interesting fact to be that when you were born, Jamira, be careful. There's a small child sneaking up behind you. I don't want her to attack you. I'm trying to keep you safe right now. Okay. So if you want your interesting fact to be the fact that you were born with 11 toes and that your father chopped it off with a hammer when you were 3 and you keep it in a jar next to your bed, I'm completely fine with that one. For others of you, maybe your interesting fact is that you have hair. And you're like, my interesting fact is I have hair. That's not very interesting. But it does tell us about you that you think that's interesting. That might mean that you're just a very boring person, and we might try and judge you a little bit. So you get to put down whatever interesting fact you want to be, as boring or as entertaining as it may be. By the way, Ryalissa, that hair thing is adorable, by the way. My daughter has the exact same one. Just want to let you know. Meow, meow. So I just you're welcome. Next up. So item 4 you're going to be telling me about is a book that you have read and didn't automatically hate and want to burn it in a trash fire. So with this one, it goes back to any period of life for you. For some of you, maybe it was last year and you finally found Harry Potter for the first time and you're like, people with spells, and he has a scar, wee, that could be your thing. For others of you, the last interesting book that you read may be about a caterpillar with a really big appetite that goes around eating a whole bunch of fruit. If that was the last book that you read that was interesting, I'm fine with that. Again, this is just giving me information about who you are and telling me about what kind of person you are. You also don't have to tell me when you read it. If like your most interesting book was Hop on Pop by Dr. Seuss and you just finished it last year, and you're like, did you know he hops on a pop like multiple times? I was shocked by the ending. Then you don't have to tell me that you just finished in 6th grade. That's fine. I'm okay with that. You just have to find a book that you've read that you did not hate. And the last one is my how smart are you and how well can you follow directions question. What I want you to do is you're going to find an animal that starts with the same letter as either your first name, middle name, or last name, and then tell me why you want to be that particular animal. So find an animal that starts with the same name as you, or the same letter as your name, and then why. As an example, if you were Mariah Anderson, to randomly pick a kid, Mariah could not pick giraffe because her name starts with an M and an A. So she could not choose that one. It would not work unless she changes her middle name. For all I know, her name is Mariah Gooberface Anderson. And she's like, Gooberface is my middle name, so I can pick giraffe. And so then you'd be good to go. So I'm looking to see how well you follow those directions and making sure that they match up. So pick an animal that matches your name and then tell me why. Then let me give you an example of mine. This is what mine looks like. I went through and followed the directions to give you guys an example of it. So here's mine. I'll walk you through it. And if you have questions, I'll be more than happy to help. So for my pictures, I did 4 pictures. The top left one is a picture of me with my cross-country team. We all dressed up like a rainbow because it was fun to bond. And then the bottom left one is me coaching my basketball team. I'm the girls' school basketball coach here. And so that was one of our big county meets. And then the top right picture, I've written 4 novels. That was my second book that I've published that was up there. And then the one below that is my evil smiley face, which is my symbol in my classroom. That evil smiley face is everywhere. And then the words that describe me: friendly, because I like to smile; confident, because I'm all that in a bag of chips, because if you were all of this, you'd be super confident too; intimidating, because apparently I freak out children. I get that all the time in messages like, Mr. Broviak, you freak me out. And that's probably just because I'm insane. I probably could have made that an adjective too, but that's fine. Overwhelming, because that's what parents tell me, because I send a lot of messages and apparently I talk a lot and I have a very loud voice. So apparently I'm overwhelming. And athletic, because I was not athletic when I was a kid. When I was in junior high and high school, I was a book nerd. And all I did was read books. And I didn't start playing sports until I was in my 20s. And someone explained to me that in sports, you get to hit people. And I went, wait a minute, you get to legally hit people? And I'm like, well, it depends on the sport. And I'm like, done, I'm in. So now I play sports and I get to hit people and take out my aggression on them, and it's all kinds of fun. Even though I play sports, which you might not normally think involve hitting, like soccer and basketball, you just have to be more creative. Or cross country, because what happens in the woods stays in the woods. And so because of that, I play sports now. My hobbies: I like to track down squirrels where they live and throw acorns at them, because squirrels are sassy creatures. I like to try and knock them off the trees. I'm not very successful, but it hasn't stopped me from trying. I also like to find new ways for kids to enjoy school, because I figure if I have to be here all day and you guys have to be here all day, then why not try to enjoy each other? So I try to find ways to make kids smile. My interesting fact: I have often been accused of being a vampire, apparently because I've taught for over 20 years, and I still don't have wrinkles and I look young. It seems to freak people out. Here's my secret: drink lots of water, lots of exercise, and drink the blood of children. If you can do that, you can stay young forever also. It's not a very challenging thing to do. Now, your question might be, well, how do you get the blood of children? And we'll get to that later. Next up, my book that I've read that I enjoyed was one called Ready Player One by Ernest Cline. It's about video games and being a dork, and I love video games, and I'm a dork, so it was naturally right up my aisle. So that was like my last book. Well, not my last book. That's one I really enjoyed. And then finally, my thing I would choose is a monkey, because my first name is Mr., and Mr. begins with an M, and monkey begins with an M. And I would be a monkey because they're super adorable, like I am, but they also can be really scary when you make them angry, like I am. So there you go. I would be a monkey. So that's what I'm going to have you guys do. And then you have to turn it in on Canvas. And so on Canvas, you're going to save it to your iPad, save it to OneDrive, save it somewhere on there, and then go to the assignments thing. And there's going to be a little thing that says turn it in. And that is how you turn in your Who Am I video and your Small World slide. Now, do you guys have any questions? This is due tomorrow. We're going to start presenting them then. So having them in would definitely be a good thing. Does anyone have questions I can help with? No? All right. If you do later, use Remind. Send me questions. I'm more than happy to help you out as best I can. You can also email me. I'm just not quite as fast that way. I'll be posting this to YouTube later on. All right. I feel the same way.
Wait, is the Small World slide the same as Who Am I, or is that just a different one?
The Who Am I is the video you have to do, where you record yourself talking and answering questions. And then the Small World is a slide where it's just like a PowerPoint picture. So two different things.
Was the Small World slide the one we just went over, or
Yes.
is that for who? Okay.
And
Wait, we have to actually.
And the Who Am I was the one that you did for best, but you're supposed to turn it in for like all of your different classes. So you just turn in that same video. Glad I could help. All right. The rest of you, if you don't have questions, then you can take off and disappear and go to 6th period and realize that your day is just not as exciting as you'd like it to be.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Don't worry. I'm going to survive tomorrow. I am going to survive tomorrow.
I'm looking forward to it. I will look good job with the surviving thing. And